All right. Hello, my name is Blake. I'm a former high school math and STEM teacher, now working in online math education, and I'm starting a YouTube channel. I want to be a math teacher online, hopefully grow a little bit of community here. And the thought is during testing season, as we're moving into the summer, go through an ACT math practice test. So I pulled up 60 question math practice test, 60 minutes on the clock. Technically, calculators are allowed on this. I'm going to try to work through it without a calculator, see how I do. Haven't looked the test over, haven't looked the answers over, so no promises I get all of these questions right, but hopefully I score at least as well as I did back in high school. So let's get started. 10 o'clock on the dot right now. 11 o'clock is the ending time. About 1 minute per problem. That's the goal. Let's get it rolling. All right. So there are 36 members in Mathematics Club. They are going to choose a student representative who will be selected at random, but she cannot be one of the 7 committees of the club. So it seems like there's a club of 36 students, and there's 7 committee members within that club. Okay. And these cannot be selected. So that leaves us, 36, 29 left that can be selected. What is the probability that Mary, who is a member, but not a committee of the club, will be chosen? So Mary's a part of this crew here. And she's just one person. So to me, that is just 1 out of the 29 people in the club who are not a part of the committee. Answer D. All right. The statement triangle ABC. So I'm just going to draw a triangle here. ABC is congruent to PQR. So, okay, so I'm just going to copy paste this triangle. Yeah, maybe you can't use this functionality on the actual ACT. D, oh, that's not a D. What is it? PQR. So A to P, B to Q, R to C. Okay, cool. Which of the following statements must be false? So I'm going to cross out any that seem true to start here. So we have A is equal to angle P. That feels true to me. I'm going to cross that one out. Angle B is equal to angle Q. That seems true to me as well, so we're going to cross that one out. C and R similarly. And then, okay, so AB is congruent to QR. So here they're trying to tell us that this line is congruent to QR. Now, I would agree that AB is congruent to PQ, but not to QR. So I'm feeling like that's the answer here. We'll just go ahead and check the last one to be sure. CA is congruent to RP. So CA is congruent to RP. I feel good about that one. So, meaning these are our false ones. I'm thinking J is our true answer here. All right. In the figure below, the measure of triangle ACB is 60 degrees. So ACB, C being the middle one, so that's 60 degrees here. Feel good about that. The measure of ABC is 70, so 70. And the measure of CAB is X. What is the value of X? Well, the total angle inside of a triangle, 180 degrees, minus the 2 angles we're already given, 60 and 70. So 60 and 70, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Moving the picture too on accident. Can I avoid that? Nope. Okay. Well, I won't move it over. 60 and 70 makes 130. So 180 minus 130 equals 50. This angle is about 50 degrees, which I don't like to use the visual to double check myself, but it seems reasonable here. Okay. Newspapers A, B, and C are published in a city. A group of people that was surveyed about which newspapers each had read last month. They could choose newspaper A, B, or C and could select none of the newspapers. It was known that only 12 people selected none of the newspapers. So 12 outside none of the newspapers. And 8 had responded that they read them all. Okay, cool. There is only one region with exactly 13 responses. What did that region refer to? So it looks like they're referring to this region here, which to me is people who read B and read C, but did not read A. A is excluded. There's 8 people who read A, B, and C, 13 people who just read B and C. So let's see. That looks like answer H to me. Newspapers B and C only. Okay. I'm realizing I probably shouldn't have worn a hat for this because all you're seeing is the brim of my hat the whole time. Hey, we'll figure it out over time. What is the value of 4 times 2 plus 1 minus 5 times the absolute value, put a little time sign in there, of 5 minus 7. A little order of operations, anything inside of parentheses, which technically this absolute value is like parentheses with an extra step. So we're going to say anything in parentheses 4 times 2 plus 1 is 3, minus 5 times the absolute value of 5 minus 7, which is the absolute value of negative 2, meaning it's positive 2. 4 times 3 minus 5 times 2. That's 12 minus 10 is 2. Boom. If you ever want to check yourself, you just take that answer. Well, it's not solving for a variable. I'm feeling like it's 2. Okay. The graphs of the functions 2x minus y equals negative 6 and x plus 2y equals 2 are shown. So if I'm looking here, I'm seeing a steep positive slope and a kind of shallow negative slope. What point do the graphs intersect? It looks like they intersect right here, which I'm assuming is negative 2 comma 2. It's not looking like 2 comma 2 would be like here, 0 comma 5 would be like up here, negative 4 comma 0. So they're kind of trying to trick us saying, hey, these are the x and y intercepts. But negative 2 comma 2 looks like our intersection point. If we want to double check it just super quick, we can do that. So 2 times negative 2 minus the y value of positive 2 equals negative 4 minus 2, which equals negative 6. Okay, so we check out there. And then into this equation, negative 2 plus 2 times our y value of 2 equals negative 2 plus 4, which equals positive 2, and it checks out there. So maybe a little bit of guess and check. Could have solved it a handful of different ways, but I'm feeling like F is our answer there. All right, the taxi fee is $1.50 for the first 1 mile and 20 cents for each additional 0.25 miles. So I know this says $0.2. You know, we don't have to write the 0, but typically when we see money, we see that second decimal. So 20 cents per additional mile, or sorry, per additional quarter mile. So for every, so basically, right when you get in the taxi, it's $1.50. Okay. And then you're going to go a couple miles, and basically every mile you travel is or every quarter mile you travel is an additional 20 cents. Okay, cool. We got it set up. How much is 3.75? It's 3.75 mile ride. So we got the $1.50 to start with. We know that. That's before you even travel an inch. Plus, okay, 3.75 miles. So in 3.75 miles, how many quarter miles are there? Well, there's how many quarters in $3.75? There's 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 quarters in 3.75. So, okay. So you're going to travel a quarter mile 15 times. So 15 times the cost per quarter mile. 15 times 20 cents is $3. So $1.50 plus $3. $4.50. I'm assuming that's an answer. Uh-oh. Oh, it's $1.50 for the first mile. Not before you travel an inch. For the first mile, it's $1.50. Okay, so I need to take one of these 20s off. Good, good, good. So one of these 20s come off, 14. And that's it. So we're just losing 20 cents. So it's $1.50 for the, oh, no, we have to lose 4 of these 20s. So it was 15, but we go through 4 of them in the first mile, so 11. So we're going to do 11 times 20 is $2.20 plus the $1.50. Gosh, that was probably a little confusing to y'all out there, but it's $3.70. Feel good about that. What I mistakenly misread the first time was the fact that it's not $1.50 right when you get in. It's $1.50 for the first mile. Okay, that one might have taken me longer than a minute. Let's keep it rolling. It is known that the assessed value of 4/5 of the property value and the yearly tax is computed as $2.50 per $100 of assessed value. Yearly tax of a property is $1,200. What is the property value? Okay, so the tax equals $1,200. The assessed value is 4/5 of the property value. So the value equals 4/5 of, this is like the assessed value, I guess. 4/5 of the property value. Okay. And the yearly tax is computed as $2.50 per $100 of assessed value. The yearly tax of the property is $1,200. What is the property value? So yearly tax is $1,200, and the tax is meant to be, let's see, $2.50 per $100 of assessed value. So what's 1,200 divided by 2.5? Oh, this is where a calculator might be nice. Let's think about it. 2.5 goes into 5 twice, 50, 20 times, 500, 200 times, 1,000, 400 times, 400 plus, then it goes into 400, 160 times, is that right? Oh gosh, 360. I don't know if this, or sorry, not 360, geez, 560. Is that right? What's 560 times 2.5? 1,120 plus 280. Yep, that checks out. Nice. If the yearly, okay, what is the property value? This one's definitely going over a minute. I'm gonna have to catch myself up here. This is a hard problem. Okay. Well, hey, maybe this one's not going to turn into a short, but it's a part of my hour that I have, so I'm going to have to just make it happen here. If the yearly tax of a property is $1,200, what is the property value? So 1,200 times 100 over 2.5. So it's $2.5 per $100 of assessed value. So this is going to be 1,200, 2 more zeros over 2.5, which we'd already did up here. It's going to be 56,000 with 2 more zeros. So 56,000, but that's not an answer, but that's okay because 56,000 is not actually the correct answer. 56,000 is proportional to the property value. So it is known as the assessed value is 4/5 of the property value. And this is based on the assessed value. So I'm going to take this number and multiply it by 5/4 because our actual value is more than the assessed value. So 56,000 times 5/4. Oh gosh, am I going to do this all without a calculator? Let's see. 40. So 10 and 4, 14. So this is 14,000 times 5, which is 50 and 20, 70,000. Okay, there's my answer D. Hey, good lesson to learn. If you ever see a problem that just from the get-go, you're like, this seems like more challenging than the last problem and more challenging than some problems upcoming, just skip it. I probably should have just skipped it and came back to it. It was not a waste of time. I think I got the right answer. It just took 3 minutes. Let's try to catch up later. Here. All right. Kai, hey, that's my dog's name, will choose one novel at random from 80 novels on a bookshelf for her book report. Okay, my dog's a dude, but that's okay. There are 4 types of novels in the bookshelf, and the number of each kind is given in the table below. What is the probability the novel Kai chooses will be a romance or a mystery? Romance or a mystery. So we have 31 romances. We have 7 mysteries. And how many do we have in total? We have 25 and 31 makes 56, plus 17 makes 66, 73. Plus 7 makes 80. So 31 plus 7 over 80 is 38 over 80, which I don't see the answer 38 over 80 here, but that's okay because I know this. We can simplify this. So 38 over 80, divide each by 2. We have 19 over 40. Is that an answer? Oh, look at that. We do have an answer, 19 over 40. So 19 compared to 40 is the same relative size as 38 compared to 80. Little simplification. So if you ever get the right answer, but you don't see it in your answers, think, can I simplify? Can I change this up just a little bit? Because I'm confident that is the right answer. All right, given that A and B are -4, 2, which is way up here, and 2, -1 respectively, what is the slope of AB? So slope is just the change in your y values, the change in your height, over the change in your x values, or the change in your width. So y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. So m is equal to, and I'm just going to say that this is 0.1 and this is 0.2. So let's go with m being -1 minus 2. So y2, -1, minus y2, +2. Oh, you know what that point is actually more like right here. That's okay. And then x values 2 minus -4. So -3 over 6 equals -1/2. The slope is down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Yeah, visually, you know, I don't like to use the visuals to double check myself, but I feel good about that answer. All right, the product of 3x plus 4. So let's see, 15 minutes in, and I'm on problem 13. I got to speed up just a little bit here. The product of 3x plus 4 and the binomial f of x is the polynomial, all that. All right, here I can already sense the trick here, and I love showing this trick to students, specifically for the ACT, just because they often give you problems that do work out nicely. And if you can see that trick, it's going to help you a lot. So let me move this over just a little. Okay, so basically, we have this equation, and I want to solve for f of x. So to get f of x by itself, we have to divide this by both sides, 3x plus 4. So we can get that 3x plus 4 off the left side and over to the right, and thus have f of x by itself. However, I can promise you that this answer, I haven't even looked at the answers yet, but I don't think this answer is up there because they're probably asking for some simplification. And if that's the case, the first thing I always check when these factor problems come up is that the bottom, the denominator, is likely a factor of the numerator. So I'll come up here and I'll just kind of plop it in 3x plus 4. And let's just think like FOIL. What number do we have to multiply 3x by to get 18x squared? That's 6x. Okay, so I don't know if this is the right answer, but I think this is how it's going to work out. And then what number do we have to multiply, let's see, 4 by to get positive 28? That's a 7. All right, let's just see if this works out. Now we'll do our other two FOILs just to check. 4 times 6x is 28, or sorry, 6, 12, 18, 24x. Woo. 3 times 7, 21x. So 24 and 21 makes 45x right there. So I feel like we factored well. And the reason I had a feeling this was going to be the case is because these cancel out. And that's the case on the ACT a lot. So our answer is 6x plus 7. Lovely. All right. So we know that cosine squared x equals 16 over 21. What is sine squared x? Okay, so cosine squared x equals 16 over 21. Oops. Cool. So I guess what they're saying is cosine of x equals the square root of 16 over 21. Okay. Well, if we have a nice little right triangle here, which we can just draw, maybe I'll do it like this. Square root 16 in the horizontal, square root 21 in the hypotenuse. So therefore, sine is going to be whatever this value is over square root of 21. Well, this is 4. Let's see here. I mean, we can do it a couple different ways. I guess we'll just do Pythagorean theorem. Why not? So 4 squared, that's square root of 16. That's 4 squared plus b squared, which we don't know, equals root 21 squared, which is 21. So, in fact, 4 squared is just 16. That's right, it's simpler. So b squared equals 5, 21 minus 16. b equals square root 5. Square root 5. So sine of x is square root 5 over square root 21. Therefore, sine squared of x just helps us get rid of these square roots. 5 over 21. Love it. Answer G, by the way. Okay. All of the small squares are equal in area in the figure below. If the area of the rectangle is 1 square unit, which of the following expressions can represent the area of the shaded part? Okay, so this whole thing, I know it seems crazy, is 1. Like one whole football field, one whole, dance floor, one whole something. So that's 1. So what fraction of that one whole thing is shaded? Well, we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that way. So 6 out of 7 in this like line here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So 9 this way. Maybe I'll write it like this. It's like 7 and 9. but these are fractional. So how many of these fractions do we have? In fact, these fractions together, we have, technically you could call each one of these 1/63rd, but they're looking for answers in like multiplication form, so we'll appease that. So I would say, how many of these sevenths do we have filled? We can ask it like that, I guess. We have, I'll get a color. We got like 1, oops, that's not a color, that's an eraser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 24. Okay, so we have 24 of these 63rds, or maybe another way to think about that is 24 of these 7 times 9s on the bottom, which I guess we could split into, so all of these answers have 7 over 9 except for this one, so that's out. And then we just want one that the numerator is equal 24, so 6 times 4, that looks like it, 6 over 7 times 4 over 9. 24. 36, I feel good about that one. Didn't explain it very well, but I think I got the right answer. All right, let's keep it rolling. Oh, wow, now we are losing time. So we got to keep going if we're going to get all of these questions in. The measure of angle B is 66 degrees. AB is congruent to AC. Okay, so these two things are congruent. Find the measure of A. So if that's 66, this is 66 because it's isosceles. 180 minus 2 times 66 is 180 minus 132. Which is 48. 48 degrees. All right, now we're cruising. A sequence is defined by letting A1 equal 3, and then AN equals the rest of that stuff. So what is the third term? So we have 3, and then we have 3 plus 2 times 2. This is our n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3. And then we have, which is that up there is 3 plus 4 is 7. And then the recursion, we're going to plug it right back in. So that number, 7, plus 2 times n, 2 times 3, is 7 plus 6, which is 13. Boom. Okay. In the standard xy coordinate plane, the line represented by which of the following equations passes through 2, 5, and is perpendicular to y equals negative 2x plus 4. All right, so perpendicular right away. The slope of something perpendicular is the opposite reciprocal of the current slope. So 1 over the negative version of what we find here, that's already being negative, so positive 2. So our slope of the perpendicular line is positive 1/2. So these are our only two answers that can possibly work here, H and J. Now we just need to know which one crosses through 2, 5. A couple ways to look at that, but I'm just gonna plug it in. So 1/2 of 2 plus 6 equals 1 plus 6, which is 7. So that is not correct. Let's try this one. 1/2, 2 plus 4 is 1 plus 4, which is 5. So I feel good about J. All right. The figure below shows a scale drawing of a garden. There's a pond in the garden. The remaining area is grassland. So this is all grassland, purple grass. All given in feet, and all the line segments are considered to be perpendicular. What is the area in square feet of the grassland? So the grassland is the area outside of the pond. So the whole area of the grassland and pond is 13 times 7, okay, which is, what, 70 plus 21, so 91, minus the area of the pond, which is 5 times 4, so 20. So 91 minus 20 is 71. That's the area of the grassland specifically. Lovely. The manager of Shop New York department store wants to investigate the service quality provided by the staff. A survey about 4 issues was given to 80 customers. Okay, we got some issues. Assume that the results in the above table can predict the response ratios for the other 22,400 customers. Okay, how many would respond good? So this is just like kind of a sample size, population size question. So good would be, so 4 issues was given to the 80 customers. And in shopping environment issue, I was like, which one are they talking about? Okay, so for shopping environment, we have 59 of the 80 say it's good. Therefore, it's a percentage of about 60 over 80, which is 3/4. So about 75%. My guess is that's like 74% or something. Okay, no calculator again. Now that number multiplied, so 74% of a bigger population of 22,400 is going to be, what, if you break that down into quarters, it's going to be like 6,000 per, about 5,500 per. So take one of those off. You should end up at about 17,000, maybe 16,520. Gosh, the question is without a calculator. These two answers are pretty close to each other. Oh, I'm not sure without a calculator on that one. I'm going to guess this. Do I want to do the math out? I'm just going to guess. This might be my first wrong problem. Because it's a little less than 75%, I'm going to guess the smaller number. So I'm guessing H. I probably could have used a calculator to get that one right. In the standard xy coordinate plane, the graph of the line 6x plus 5y minus a equals 0 passes through the line 2, negative 4. That is not a line. That is a point, but that's okay. What is the value of a? So 6 times the x coordinate from up here, 2, plus 5 times the y coordinate from up here, negative 4, minus a should be equal to 0. So 12 minus 20 minus a equals 0. So negative 8 minus a equals 0. So a equals 8. Oh, sorry, negative a. We got to be careful. Add 8 to both sides. Do that in a different color. Add 8 to both sides. You do get a positive 8 over here, but it's still negative a. So therefore, a is actually equal to negative 8. They're going to try to get you with these negatives. See, they even throw a positive 8 right under to try to trip you up. All right, sneaky, sneaky ACT writers. Suppose that a to the third to the p is equal to a to the sixth. And a to the q, oops, my a's and q's look pretty similar, squared equals a to the sixth. For all positive a, what is a to the q minus p? Well, I can tell you that p is equal to 2, and q is equal to 3, and that is because multiplying, raise an exponent to an exponent, you multiply them. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. So a to the 3 minus 2, or q minus p, equals a to the 1, or just a. Lovely. Are we catching up? All right, if the standard xy coordinate plane, in the standard xy coordinate plane, a point negative 3, 2 is translated 4 units to the right to q. Find the coordinates of q. So negative 3, 2 is like right here. And we are going to go 4 units to the right, so to positive 1. And then, that's it, just 4 units to the right. So positive 1, 2. Boom. All right, which of the following expressions is equivalent to c if a equals 6 plus c over 3? All right, so just reworking this one. A equals 6 plus c over 3. Multiply by 3 on both sides. So a, 3a, is equal to 6 plus c. Subtract 6 on both sides. So c is equal to 3a minus 6. Can't simplify it any simpler than that. 3a minus 6, that's g. All right, Peter bought a chain of wooden fence of 72 meters. That's a lot of fence. He wanted to use all the fence to construct a fence for his rectangular garden. The width of the garden is 15 meters, so it's 15. What is its length? Well, x, we don't know its length. But we do know, is this an area problem or a perimeter problem? Well, he bought the fence and he had to lay the fence out. So he has 72 total feet of fence all the way around. And we know that the left and right side are each 15. So that takes away 30. So we had 72 to start with. And we're subtracting 15 twice. So that leaves us with 42. 42 to share between both sides. So 42 split in half is 21. So x equals 21. Lovely. All right, the figure below shows angle PQR. What is the measure of PQR in radians? So in 180 degrees, we call that pi radians. Okay, 360, we call that 2 pi radians. So 150 is just equal to whatever 150 divided by 360 is, as like a proportion, but then we multiply that by 2 pi, because in every 360 degrees, there's 2 pi radians. And this right here is just like a ratio. How much of that 2 pi are we taking up? 150 over 36, or 150 over 360. Oh, gosh. 3 goes into 15 5 times, so divide by 3 is going to leave us with, divide by 30 is going to leave us with 5, and divide by 30 is going to leave us with 6, 12, 5 twelfths, times 2 pi. 10 pi twelfths, or So 10 pi 12, so I'm going to write this up here. I know this is bad. Equals 5 pi 6. I think that's the answer. Oh, no. See, they tricked me. They put the pi on the bottom. 5 pi 6, the pi on top. Okay. All right, a triangle is 4 square root 3 feet base. All right, so I'm just going to draw this triangle. So its base is 4 times square root of 3, which is like, I don't know, 5 point something. And 7 times square root of 3, which is like 9 point something, or 10 point something. What is the area in square feet of the triangle? So area equals 1/2 base times height. So therefore, area is going to be 1/2 4, doesn't really matter what order, 4 root 3 times 7 root 3, which is 1/2 times 4 times 7 times root 3 times root 3, which is 1/2 times 28 times 3, which is 14 times 3, which is 28, 38, 42. Boom. Okay. Which of the following operations will produce the minimum result if it is submitted for the blank in the expression? -10 blank, -3. All right, we want the minimum result, so the lowest possible number. In fact, the most negative number we can get. So negative multiplied by a negative is going to give us a positive. So that's not it. That is not it. I'm going to go to colors here instead of the laser. So not multiplied. Divided, same thing. Negative divided by a negative should give us a positive. So that's probably not what we want. But negative plus a negative, you have negative, you have debt, and then you add on more debt. That's feeling like the right answer. Maybe not minus, because debt, and then if you take away debt, you're going to have a little less debt. So if we put a minus here, this would actually turn into a -10, plus positive 1/3, double negative stuff. And then averaged with, well, we don't want the number between -10 and -1/3. We want the number that's -10 and then an additional -1/3. So I'm feeling good like it's plus. I don't know if a question like that would actually show up on the ACT. Who knows? All right. If Harare on a certain Sunday, the highest temperature was 95 degrees and the lowest temperature was 68. What is the difference between the highest and lowest in Celsius? Okay, so in Fahrenheit, the difference was whatever 95 minus 68 is. 95 minus 70 is 25, so minus 68 is 27. Okay, so then centigrade, or Celsius, is 5/9 of the Fahrenheit temperature. So yeah, this one, I think we're going to do it a little differently than how I was doing it up here. So we're going to find each temperature in Celsius first. So 95 minus 32. That's our first temperature, and our second temperature is 5/9 of 68 minus 32. So 95 minus 32 is 63, 5/9 of 63, and 5/9 of 68 minus 32 is 38, 36. Okay, so we want to find the temperature difference. So 5/9 factored out, 63 minus 36 equals 5/9 of 63 is 33/27. All right, whatever 5/9 of 27 is. So that's our answer, 5/9 of 27, which is going to be just over half of 27. So 14, 15-ish. Hey, look at that. We're going with 15. All right. There are 13 Chinese songs and 9 English songs in a computer. Now 5 Chinese songs and 3 English songs are to be selected and added to a playlist. Which of the following expressions gives the number of different playlists that could be these are combinatorials and permutations, and this one's going to be a guess. I'm not going to lie. I'd have to review this material briefly. There are 13 Chinese songs and 9 English songs in a computer. Now 5 Chinese songs and 3 English songs are to be selected and added to a playlist. So, okay. So there's this whole thing. It's 13 Chinese and 9 English. And then they're going to pick 5 of the Chinese and 3 of the English to play. But it could be any of them. The following expression gives the number of different playlists that could be chosen from. It's a lot. The answer is there's a ton. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I'm like, is it combination or permutation? Because you can't replace the song after you've picked it. It makes me think. that I don't exactly remember my statistics very well. So I'm gonna go with oh man, wrong. I really don't know the answer to this one. Should I just guess? I'm just gonna guess G. I don't even know. I didn't even look. All right, which of the following expressions is equivalent to 2 over 3 minus root 2? So 2 over 3 minus root 2. Okay, so some simplification in our future here. Let me do a couple things to this. First of all, I'm going to rewrite it one time. 2 over 3 minus root 2. I'm going to multiply this by the complex conjugate, not complex, just by its conjugate. So 3 plus, and that green is terrible, 3 plus root 2 over 3 plus root 2. So technically just multiplying by 1. Up top, that becomes 6 plus 2 root 2 over, and then on the bottom, that becomes 9 plus 3 root 2 minus 3 root 2 minus square root 2 squared. So this becomes 6 plus 2 root 2 over 9 minus 4, which is 6 plus 2 root 2 over 5. Is that an answer? 6 plus 2 root 2 over, oh gosh, why did I get a 5? 9 minus 4. 3 plus 2, 3 minus 2. That should be negative square root 4. What the heck? What did I do wrong? Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times square root 2 is 2 root 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times positive root 2 is 3 root 2, negative 3 root 2. And then negative square root 2 times square root 2, which is negative square root 4, which is negative 2. Negative 2, I wrote a 4. Gosh, dang it. Okay. 9 minus 2 is 7. Sometimes you can use the answers to help you figure out what you did wrong. So 6 plus 2 root 2 over 7. All right, problem 32, minute 37. We got to keep cruising here. In triangle DEF, so we have this triangle here, D, and it's probably not going to be even close to proportional. That doesn't look like a triangle at all. Let's try again. DEF. DE is 48. DF is 30. D is 62 degrees. DE is the longest side. Okay, so they're just telling us this is the longest side. Which of the following statements about MDE must be true? So if this is the longest side, I already know that F is going to be the biggest angle, and that, F is going to be the biggest angle because the biggest angle has to open up for the biggest side. So measure of F is the biggest. I feel decent about these three answers. And then the question is, what about EF? So let's see. This is 62, and this is bigger than 62. So I'm just going to pick a number bigger than 62. How about 63? That's 120. I mean, it's going to even be bigger than that, but that's 125. So meaning the last angle missing is 55. So it's necessarily going to be the smallest angle. The angle that's missing is going to be our small angle. So E's got to be the smallest, and D's got to be the middlest. Feel good about J here. Okay. Maybe I could have spent some more time thinking about that one. In terms of scientific notation, which of the following expressions is equivalent to the total floor area in square feet of the ICC? Is this one of those problems that I feel like, here we go. I need some information for this. Okay. Oh. It's roughly 35,000 square feet. Lovely. So, total floor area in square feet. 35,000. Oh, well, that's not even any of these answers, so I must be reading something wrong. The total floor area is around 2.8 million square feet. Let's try that again. 2.8 million square feet. So 2.8 million, which is 2800000. In scientific notation, that's 2.8 times 10 to the 6. 2.8 times 10 to the 6th. All right. Same setup, different problem. Given each office floor is a square, so that's where the 35,000 comes from. Which of the following values is closest to the diagonal in feet of the office floor? So it looks like they're trying to give us this diagram here. Oh, is square. Which of the following values is closest to the diagonal in feet of the office floor? So it's meant to be square, but why is this drawing? International Commerce Center is 118-story, 1587 feet, commercial building in Hong Kong. It's the world's 11th tallest building by height now. Total. The area of each office floor is roughly 30. Okay, so that's angle of elevation. I'm just looking at that image, and it's confusing me on purpose. ACT does stuff like this. So they're saying we have a square. Okay. And then we want to know what the length of the diagonal is here. So the square is 35,000 area, meaning the sides are square root 35,000 each. Okay, multiply those together, you get the area of 35,000. Pythagorean theorem to find C here. So it's the square root of A squared. So square root of 35,000 squared plus the square root of 35,000 squared is the square root of 70,000. And man, whatever the square root of 70,000 is. Oh gosh, it's not 40. It's not 59. Those are way too small. 300 times 300 is 60,000. No, 90,000. So that's too big. So 25 times 25 is 620. Yeah, that's feeling like it's the right answer, 265. No calculator. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to the length in feet of UV right here? That's what they're curious about. So we know that the height is 1587. That came from the problem prompt. And that's all we really need to know. So is that all we need to know? I think so. Sine. No, we're going to go cosine. Cosine of 35 degrees for that horizontal is equal to UV over 1587. So therefore, 1587 times cosine of 35 equals UV. 1587 times cosine of 35. Look at that. All right, we're cruising. 15,000 cubic centimeters water is poured into a rectangular tank of length 60 centimeters in width. Okay, so length 60, width 25, and the depth of the water, which we don't know, aka like the height of this tank, which we don't know. But we know that the volume is 15,000 centimeters cubed. So 15,000 equals 60 times 25 times height. So length times width times height. So therefore, so 60 times 25 is what? 6 quarters is $1.50 plus a 0, 150. So 1,500. So 15,000, that's nice, equals 1,500 times h. 15,000 divided by 1,500 is 10. H is 10. Lovely. Okay. All right, given angle P is bigger than angle Q, which is bigger than angle R, the difference of the measures P and Q is 90. So P minus Q equals 90. And the difference of the measures Q and R is 180. Does that really make sense? What is the sum of the measures? Oh, the sum of the measures R and S. R plus S equals 90. What is the sum of P and S? That's the question. Okay, well, I do know that P, I'm going to go to a different color here. P is equal to 90 plus Q. So therefore, oh, you know what? Let's go in reverse order on that. Let's say that Q is equal to P minus 90. Okay, some rearranging up here. And therefore, for the second equation, P minus 90 minus R. Is this even going to help us? Equals 180. And then R plus S. Wait, how many variables do we have? One. We have three. We have 4 unknowns. What is going on here? Oh, well, they do tell us the order of them. This is interesting. Okay, I think I'm going to do some erasing here. I never erase, but I think I just misinterpreted this problem. All right. So P and Q has a difference of 90, and P is bigger than Q. So I'm just going to, and Q and R is 180. So let's just say R is like 10. That makes Q like 190. And then that makes P 280. Okay, let's just say that's the case. And then the sum of R and S is 90. And S is, they don't tell us how big S is. So what is the sum of measures? So if that was the case, S would be 80, because R and S would make 90. What is the sum of measures P and S? And in that case, 280 plus 80 would be 360. I don't know. Amy is going to run a hamburger store. The rent is $1,000. An estimated expenditure of each hamburger is $2. And she plans to sell each hamburger for $6. Another expensive. So she is going to so profit equals revenue minus cost. Okay, profit is equal to the revenue, which is 6 times the number of hamburgers she sells, minus $2 per hamburger that she sells, minus $1,000 flat every month. So that's 4 in minus 1,000 is her profit. One of the most important math topics you can learn if you want to be entrepreneurial. All right, we have 15 minutes left on the timer, and I've got 20 problems left. So I don't know if I'm going to score 36 this time. The Tianjin Eye is a Ferris wheel built in Tianjin, China. The radius is 55 meters, and it moves 30 minutes for a revolution. So radius, 55 meters, and 30-minute period. T equals 30 minutes. All right, and the height h of a gondola above or below the center of the wheel can be modeled with this equation. So some random gondola, the height of that gondola can be modeled saying 55, which is the radius sine of 12t. What is the highest position in meters of a gondola above the center of the wheel? Well, that angle is going to be at an angle of 90 degrees when sine is equal to 1. So what is the highest position in meters of a gondola above the center of the wheel? I mean, it's just going to be 55. Am I going crazy? It's the radius. The radius is 55. What's the highest position in meters of a gondola above the center of the wheel? It's okay, if I'm overthinking this one, I don't even know. The following table shows the marks of Mr. Lee's class of 27 students in mathematics test. Each of the 27 responses must lie in one of the intervals given the table below. What is the modal class? Modal? What is the mode, I think is what they're asking. The one that has the most number of students, so 31 through 35. Modal, I think, is just mode. Mode being the one that shows up the most often. All right, let A, B, and C be real numbers. Look, I'm actually looking at the camera again. Let A, B, and C be real numbers, which of the following expressions is equivalent to A times negative B minus C, all the absolute value of. So absolute value of A times negative B minus C is equal to negative AB with the absolute value minus C, which is basically, we can factor a negative 1 out of that, and it's positive AB plus C. And then that negative 1 just gets nixed by the absolute value signs. So AB plus C. Oh, but they're real numbers, so yeah, absolute value of AB plus C. I might be getting this one wrong. Who knows? All right. Given that f of x equals x squared minus 5 over 3x minus 1, which of the following is equal to f of x plus 1 for all x in its domain? So f of x equals x squared plus or minus 5 over 3x minus 1. So therefore, f of x plus 1, I'm just going to plug x plus 1 in for x. X plus 1 squared. 3 times x plus 1 minus 1. All right, let's see. So that's x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 5 over 3x plus 3 minus 1. Sorry, it got cramped there. X squared. That's supposed to be plus yeah, okay. So x squared plus 2x minus 4 over 3x plus 2. Is that an answer? X squared plus 2x minus 4 over 3x plus 2? That's right. I mean, could it be simplified? Maybe. I don't know. But that's the answer, so I'm going to go with it. Given that I squared equals negative 1 and n is a positive integer, what is I to the 8n plus 1? Lovely. So I, which is the square root of negative 1, to the 8n plus 1. And n is a positive integer. So I'm going to pick up, how about 10? So I to the 80 plus 1 is, well, I to the I love making these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it just continues on that pattern. So I to the 1 is square root negative 1. This is negative 1. This is square root negative 1 times, or maybe we'll just write it like this, negative square root of negative 1. And then this is positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So 80 is divisible by 4. So we go up to 80. I to the 80th, because it's divisible by 4, is equal to 1. But then we have to do it one more time. So then we move back to square root of negative 1, which is I. Okay. The yard will be closed by a fence in the boutique shop. The fence will begin at one back corner of the shop and will end at the other. What is the minimum number of meters of fencing needed to enclose the yard? Okay, the fence will begin at one back corner. Is this another? Okay, that's another one of these problems. We need the visual. So here, I'm going to just copy this. Bring it back over here. Okay. So what is the minimum number of meters of fencing needed to enclose the yard? And we're just doing this. I think they're saying that, oh wait, the yard will be enclosed by, oh, never mind, a boutique shop. So I think they're saying the fence does this. You know, maybe straight right there, but try that again. So here's what our fence is doing. It's getting close. And basically the shop is acting as a little bit of fence. So we know that the area inside of here is 200 yards squared because 10 times 20. But we don't need this chunk here, which is 6 meters of fencing. So, all right. So basically what they're saying is we need 20, 20, 10, and 4. 20, 20, 10, and 4, which is 14 plus 40, which is 54. Okay, I got 8 minutes left. I'm gonna go rapid pace here. Starting next year, Miss Chant plans to increase the number of flowers in the garden each year so the numbers form an arithmetic sequence. In 4 years, there will be 63 flowers. Arithmetic means add or subtract the same amount every time. What is the common difference of the arithmetic sequence? All right. So Chan plants 36 flowers in the garden. Chan plants, so it starts with 36 plus x times 4 equals 63. So therefore 63 minus 36 equals 4x. That's 33, that's 27 equals 4x. Oh, does that, yeah, 9, 18, 27. Does that actually work? 24. What? 6, 12, 18, 24. So it's like 7-ish. Did I do my math wrong? I'm gonna go with 7. We're going fast pace here. The area of the garden is what percent of the area of the yard? Hey, that's 2 by 4. So that's 8. 8 over 200 is 4 over 100, 4%. Okay. A circle with radius 9 is divided into 3. So it's 9, 3 congruent sectors. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that's about right. What is the area of each sector? So area total is pi 9 squared, which is 81 pi. Divide that into 3 sectors. And we're going to get, what is that, 27? 7, 14, 21. That's 27 pi. Lovely. All right, 6 minutes left. Oh, what happened here? Okay, that's weird. Consider all the multiples of 8 between 300 and 500 inclusive. What fraction of those integers are multiples of 12? Whoa. 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. 12, 24, and so on a little bit bigger here. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. 12, 24, 36, and then they would meet again at 48. So basically, for every 3 times you multiply by 8, you're going to get 2 12s. No, you're only going to get, you multiply by 12 twice, but they only match up in one column. So basically, if I'm not mistaken, what that means is, so it's like 1/8 of the integers would be multiples of 8 between 300 and 500, but it's actually going to be 2/3 of that. No, 1/3 of that. Just 1/3 of those numbers are going to match up with 12, so 1/24. Is that even an answer? The answer is probably 1/12. I'm probably just going crazy. All right, in the figure below, the area of right triangle PST is 36 square units. The length of RT is 20 units, and the length of PT is 8 units. What is the area in square units of parallelogram? So the area of a parallelogram is the same as the area of the rectangle that like the parallelogram shifted from. So let's keep that in mind. RT is 20, so this whole thing is 20. And PT is 8. Okay, so the whole thing is 20. Oh, then what do they say? The area of right triangle PST is 36. They're telling us that this is 36. So 1/2 of ST times 8 should equal 36. So 4 times ST equals 36. So then ST equals 8. Or no, 9, sorry. So this right here is 9. So then therefore, 8 times whatever 20 minus 9 is, because if that's 9, then this is 9. So the whole thing is 20 minus 9, which is 11. 11 times 8 is 88. Okay, I got 4 minutes left. Are we going to get through it all? The fraction 3/13 is equivalent to that number. What is the digit in the 8,002nd place of that decimal? Well, this repeats. So it's 230769, 230769, so on and so forth. And that's how many digits? 6. 6. So we're just looking at multiples of 6. 8,002nd decimal place. So, does 6 go into 8,000? I should have a calculator, huh? Okay, so 6,000. Cool. Plus 6, 12, 18. So 78,000 or 7,800 is divisible. And then we have 6 goes into 200 how many times? 6 goes into 180. So 7, 980. And then 6, 12, 18, 24. So, okay, we would get to 8,004 at this point, but 8,002 must be this point, so it's a 7, I think. Okay, sorry, a lot of mental math there, but I am rushing. I have 3 minutes left to try to score as high as I can so I can get into college. The 3 lines with equations, y equals -3, x equals 5, and y equals x forms a unique triangular region. What classification does the triangle belong to? Let's just visualize it really quick. Okay, y equals -3, that's down here. X equals 5, that's about right here. And then y equals x looks like this. About like that. That is a right triangle, my friends. Right triangle, right angle. A right isosceles? I don't think so. I think it's just a right scalene. Isosceles, this would have to be, because this is, is it? Oh, why? You know what? It is. It's a 90-degree angle, meaning this is 45, and this is 45. So this is an isosceles. Call me crazy. Right isosceles. Cool. It's just weird because it's tilted. All right, 2 minutes. The graph of the function x squared minus x minus 6 over x minus 1 is, oh gosh. Which is the vertical asymptote of y? Vertical asymptote's about right here, looks like. I'm guessing that's at 1. That's what they're trying to say. X equals 1. We're going to go with it. All right, company assigns an identification number to each client. And I could just check that, yeah. Vertical asymptote, the number you can't divide by. A company assigns an identification number to each client. Their identification number consists of one letter C followed by 4 digits. So C, number. How many possible 5-digit identification numbers are there? 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Because the C is always going to be the C. So 12, 20. I just did this so wrong. I'm wrong. I just am looking at this, and I have 1 minute left. I'm panicking. I'm going to get this problem wrong. Let's see if we can't get one more quick one right. Which of the following line graphs represents all values in the domain of the function? Log 10 x squared minus 4. 10 to the... All right, well, hey. This was a fun first experiment. I kind of got a little flustered at the end as I was running out of time, and obviously I'm not going to score the score that I probably scored in high school because I think I was a little more tuned in, and I was using a calculator. So I was being all confident, like I could not use a calculator on this. I think for the calculator section, you're going to speed up a lot if you use a calculator and not trying to do all this mental math. So what we can do now, I guess, for fun, is I can just automatically assume I got those ones wrong. Let me go through and fill out my answers to all these questions. We can speed up the section, and then we'll check ourselves, see what score we got. So. All right, so how many more did I miss? I missed 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. How many? Well, I'll just say in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Mine is 18. Not a strong showing. I got a 42 out of 60. What does that equate to in ACT land? I honestly don't even know. Let's see. ACT math score chart. I mean, my guess is like a 28 or something. Let's see. Mathematics. Okay, if I got 42 of the questions right, that puts me at a 27. Hey, good guess. All right. Well, I have a feeling I can do better. I mean, I scored a 35 3 times on the ACT math back in high school. It's been some years since then. It doesn't help that when I'm like trying to explain and not use a calculator at the same time. But hey, that was kind of the whole point of this video series. It's not to be perfect and amazing and the best teacher in the world on day one. It was just to sit down, do an ACT math practice test, see what I can get in an hour while still teaching. So we're just going to kind of keep with this theme. Look out for these as shorts. Look out for this whole video front to back. And I think I'm just going to go up and up and up and up over each practice test until I'm going to get a 36 one of these days. While talking you through my thinking on each one, I'll probably bring a calculator into the mix next time. I mean, that wasted so much time for me. If I even guessed on the 12 problems that I didn't answer, I probably would have gotten at least 3 of those right, which jumps up my score another point. So some cool ways to think about this. Teacher Blake here. That was a fun first video, and I will, I'll see you guys for the next one. Thanks for watching.